Hello, this is Jaden Sofa, and you're listening to Deep Questions. I'm here with Joel Seymour. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I will. Hello, my name is Joel Seymour, and this is not no news. I was about to go into my whole spiel, but that's my own show. Mondays at 7 p.m. Join me. It's great. We have fun, and we talk about good news. And that's my spiel. And on to the actual show, which is yours, not mine.
It is. We had Damien with us here, but he had to leave right before we started to go solve world hunger. So
yep. He solved world hunger by going to Mars because they have discovered water there, and so they're figuring, hey, if there's water, then there's probably ice, and then you can eat the ice and then melt some of the water and then drink that, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, and if we run out of Mars, we're just gonna drink Pluto.
Yeah. We're not gonna drink Mars. That sounds like a very difficult process. We're gonna drink the water on Mars. But okay, all right. This is the question for a later time. But like, some of the planets are gas planets. So does that mean that they can become liquid planets and possibly be used for resources?
Liquid planet.
They're gas planets. We could take some of the gas, turn them into liquid. I'm not a scientist, if you haven't noticed.
Some people don't know if, they're not sure if Jupiter actually has a surface or not.
Exactly. Now we're thinking. Of
scoop some Jupiter, bring it back.
Would you like a scoop of Jupiter, son? It's only 39 uni dollars, which is the dollars that we use in the future. Stop talking, Dad. We still use euros. Anyways.
So since there's only two of us, we're going to do something a little bit different today. Mm-hmm. Instead of debating just a simple question, we're going to go through some brackets and debate what are some... we're going to do a bracket and debate to go down this bracket and determine what's the best. Mm-hmm. You want to? Yeah, I feel like you can explain that better.
Yeah, so basically we are having a tournament of different ideas, and for tonight we will be figuring out which out of the digits of our numerical system is the best. We're
using base 10.
Yes, base 10, 0 through 9, and we're going to be deciding the top 10 digits of the numerical system. And if you would like, we can go ahead and jump to our first round and decide which one of these numbers are better.
I'm ready. What's our first bracket?
Okay, so the first round is between the number 3 and the number 7.
Both of which are extremely overrated. So I'm glad we're going to get rid of one of them right away.
All right. So explain to me why you think they are both overrated real quickly.
See, if you ask someone their favorite number, most people are going to say 7 or 3. Those are the two most common.
Add them together, you get 10.
True. But you could also add 5 and 5, but 6 and 4.
That is true. But I think that is true that these two tend to be... people's favorites, and there's a couple of reasons, and I track with some and I don't track with others. Obviously, I mean, these for me, I think 7 would win over 3, I would believe, because 7 is sort of directly connected with the best time of life. You know, as a 7-year-old, you're just have all this wonder and magic is in the world, and you're so excited, but you're also old enough to be able to do things and to actually go about your own life. So I think
3-year-old was kind of boring. I have 2 memories from then.
Yeah, I don't think I don't have any concrete memories. I have a couple things that are I think are memories, but I'm not sure. And so
might be fake.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just things that I dreamt up. Actually, I think I have more dreams that I remember at 3 than actual memories. It's interesting. But that's beside the point. The point is, as far as numbers go in the lifespan of a human, I think 7 wins over...
Well, I will say 3 does have the better Schoolhouse Rock song.
Absolutely. I am so glad you brought this up. Although, it's lucky number 7 wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't Schoolhouse Rock at its finest. You have no idea how much how happy
three is the
you have.
magic number.
Yes, it is. It's the magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3 in the family. And you have no idea how happy you've made me by bringing up Schoolhouse Rock, so much so that I'm willing to just, like, negate the rest of this debate and, like, just go ahead and give it to 3. Just solely based on that.
If we look at just, like, the form itself, I think 7 is a lot sharper.
That is true.
3 is kind of, like, bubbly.
Yeah, let's talk about the design, because, like, I do agree with you that, like, 3 is a lot more bubbly, but I don't see that as necessarily a negative. In the design of the numbers, I feel like 3 wins because it's more diverse in its design. It has the points, yes, but it also has the curvature. It has deepness to the design. 7 is just 2 simple strokes, one horizontal and one diagonal. It's not.
Well,
like,
actually,
it doesn't look pleasant to hold if you had it in real life. But if you had a 3, like, you could have so much fun. It could be like a W. It could be like
a backwards E,
a
upside
backwards
down M.
E. Yeah.
I'm actually one of the weirdos who dashes my 7s, but
I do that too. Actually, I do that too. But you know, I think 3 is just a more consistent number. It's a more simple number because, like, these are both prime numbers, but, like, with 7, it's just sort of like, that's sort of the mark for me where it's just like, oh no, now prime numbers are getting a bit hefty, you know, because then you have to figure out, wait, this is an odd number, but is that a prime number? And that's where it begins with 7. So, like, it's less fun, it's less interesting, it looks less fun to hold, it's more complicated. I just think that 7 is too much trouble. Would you agree?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Are we deciding 3 then?
3 is the winner.
So we've already kicked out most people's favorite number.
Yep.
So you guys can stop listening now if you want.
But we do have more brackets. We have so many more. Should we go on to the next one? Next round?
Yeah.
Yep, next round is between 9 and 5.
Ooh. Those are probably the 2 weirdest looking to me.
Really? I
don't know.
I would vote that, like, 7 would be one of the weirder ones, or 2.
I think 7 I think 2 looks really sharp, to be honest.
Well, like, I've always sort of had this thing where I just felt like 2 and 5 were just the same digit flipped around.
Okay, do you do 2 like with a sharp turn at the bottom? I do like a little circle. Looks like a fancy L thing.
And we'll get to 2. Actually, 2's bracket is very interesting, and that'll be a fun discussion. But as far as 9 and 5, I
gotta
feel
work
like,
your 9 to 5.
Yep, you have to work your 9 to 5. All right, and that's actually an interesting point. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the 9 part of the 9 to 5 or the 5 part of the 9 to 5? Well, obviously, it's the 5 because you're done. You've earned your money and you're going home.
If I could choose to do a thing at like 9 or 5, though, I'd choose 9 because I'd be done sooner.
That is true.
But in a 9 to 5 job, I prefer the 5 because it's like I'm almost done.
Yeah, so 9 is a good time to start things. However, like 5, it just sort of like has some baggage to it when it comes to time. Like either 5 p.m. You're just like, oof, it's about to, the sun's a setting. It's we're getting time to sort of slow down, but there's still stuff to do. And then if you have 5 in the morning, you're just like, why am I even conscious? You know?
Yeah. I don't wake up at 5.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that 9 is a sleeker design because it's very simple. It's very fluid movement.
I can't distinguish my 5s from my S's. Like, even when I try to make them sharp, it doesn't.
Like, I feel like 5 it's a lot more open to confusion. It does, when you're dealing with multiplication, that's definitely its strongest suit. But overall, I think that 9 is a more solid number. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right.
Yeah, let's go with 9.
All right, fantastic. So that actually, because we had 10, because we have 10 different digits that we are working with, we have actually entered to the second round. And this is where we get into the more interesting ones. So we're going to see 9 and 3 pop up again, but we're also going to see the rest of the 8 numbers, or 8 digits.
They were kind of placed at a unfair disadvantage then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 9, 5, 3, and 7 were some of the strongest contenders by themselves.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so, like, it only makes sense to just work them in beforehand. But after round 2, we have semifinals and then finals. Do we want to take a break now, or do we want to keep on going a little bit into round 2?
Let's keep going. Finish. Let's give like every number one chance, and then we'll come back with.
Sounds good. So we'll go ahead and go into one of the brackets, which is 4 versus 8. Now this one's very interesting because 8 is it can be derived from 4. And so
you really hurt me with this matchup because I'm going to say my personal bias is that 4 is the best digit and that 8 is the second best.
Oh, that is unfortunate for you. So, okay, why do you consider 4 to be the best digit?
It's just personal preference. I think it looks really nice.
Which one, though?
Well, both, but
pointy 9 or messed up square?
I'm more of a messed up square person. The pointed 9 looks kind of ugly to me. It's like a triangle with 2 lines sticking out of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But unfortunately for 4, that is the one that is more common.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, in most typefaces, as far as I'm concerned, in most typefaces, especially...
Yeah, I'm looking at the keyboard and it's like that.
Yep, that one, if you go into like pretty much any of the typefaces in like Microsoft Word, they're going to have the pointy 9. But I feel like in actual handwriting, messed up square 4 is more common.
I think that's I think that's disadvantageous to 4 as a number, really, because it makes it look like an ugly 9.
Yeah. However, with 8, I feel like its design is almost perfect.
It's like a sideways infinity.
It's a sideways infinity. It's just 2 circles stacked up to each other. The top one being smaller. It's reminiscent of a snowman, which brings up Christmas, and I freaking love Christmas. Now, like as far as designs, 8 is more consistent, and I feel like 8 is more simplistic and appealing, on a general term at least. However, where 8 really has its deficit is with the math function. Multiplications of 8 was my bane in the 3rd grade.
See, 4 is a great number mathematically. You got 4 quadrants.
Right.
It
makes up the square.
Quadraticals.
Yep.
There's 4 elements.
Yep.
There's actually a lot more than that, but...
No. Earth, Wind, Fire, and the other one that I didn't say. Earth, Wind, Fire, Water. That's it. Avatar. So, like, yeah.
When they needed him most, he vanished.
Where did he go? I'm trying to think of a pun now, and I'm not thinking of it. I'm probably going to regret it later, so I'll move on. But yeah, so like I would say the design factor of 8 and all of the strengths that brings up to the table is directly counterbalanced to the mathematical side of 4. Would you agree with that? That the strengths of 8's design is as equal to the strengths of 4 design, or of 4's mathematics.
I suppose that would be fair. I'm trying to ignore my bias because I really think 4 is the best number.
Right. Is there any other factor that we could consider? I mean, like, we can't even go to Schoolhouse Rock, because can we even remember the 4 and the 8 Schoolhouse Rock songs?
I don't know that 4 had one. 8 didn't have
all
one,
of them,
but
all of them did.
Wait, they all did? Actually, I do remember 8. It was the girl skating, and it was like the sideways infinity.
That one was like boring at best and like horror-esque at worst.
To be fair, though, I actually remember that, and I don't remember 4's at all.
Right, but I feel like I just have a feeling that 4's Schoolhouse Rock song was a banger. I'll do some research, and we may want to, like, I don't know. Is there any other factors that we haven't considered when dealing with these two numbers?
Not that I can think of, but
Oh,
What was
I
it?
forgot about that one. It's the Four-Legged Zoo, where it's a school field trip, and they go. I can't even think. I can't even
It's
remember
true.
that
Most
one.
creatures have 4 limbs.
That is true.
Only octopi have 8 limbs.
You know what? Okay. I mean, I guess you're not wrong, but personally, I prefer the 8, but with all things considered, and with your personal bias, and
Well,
since this is your show,
I don't
I
want
would-
my personal bias to be...
I will
That's
say,
the problem with there only being 2 of us who
Yeah.
can't really vote.
But here's the thing. I will say that even though like 8 has a very strong design, it's not 4 doesn't have an awful design. It's just a all right design at worst. Meanwhile, 8's mathematics are just a pain in the butt for anyone who tries to learn them, especially when compared to 4. And the potential that 4 has greatly is a lot more strong than 8, because anything
I mean,
8
you
can
just
do...
double it.
Yeah, anything 8 can do, 4 can do better, you know?
I suppose.
I suppose. Because, I mean, like, 4 just has more options mathematically, and it has more options design-wise. I'll go ahead and say that 4 wins this one.
I'm very happy with that, but I'm going to miss 8.
I am going to miss 8, too. I do really like 8.
I really wanted him to stay in this.
Yep. So the last 2 that we haven't touched, the last bracket that we haven't touched either of the numbers in, is between 0
Ooh, my hero.
and 2.
It's another tough matchup.
2, I feel like 2, this is a very interesting debate for me, because I feel like 2 is the pinnacle of all digits. It is the best example of what a digit is and the potential that it can have. Meanwhile, I feel like 0 is the exact opposite, where it is the pinnacle of it is the pinnacle of what a number can't do. It's the exception to 2's precedent.
But 0 is really important. Okay,
0 is incredibly important, but so is 2. 2 is important to structuring the numerical system, while 0 is important to keeping it in check. You know? It's like a balance between creation and balance. I feel like this is almost like a debate between, like, which is more important, light or dark? Which is a better digit, 0 or 2?
Yeah. Well, 2's got the little... and well, when I write it, it has a little loop-de-loop that I
Right.
think looks nice. But
Right.
0's, it's just a circle. It's very simplistic.
I think 0, design-wise, 0 definitely wins. I think 0 definitely wins because it's simplistic, it's recognizable. But
I don't know. I get it confused with O a lot.
that is true. It may be too simplistic because you have O, you have circles, you have dots, you have
Eyeballs.
eyeballs. Like, there's so many things that are a circle, but sometimes it can be lost in translation. Meanwhile, the worst thing that could happen with a 2 is if you read it upside down and think it's a 5.
Not with the way that I write it.
Not with the way that you write it, because you are a better human than me. But, so, like, I don't know. This may be the most difficult one to actually get by,
I know.
because all of them are great. Both of them are great. But both are so strong in their fields. I think, though, that 2 definitely has more potential than 0. 0 is important. And
I don't know. I feel like 0 is like the base of our whole system.
that is true. Okay, here's the thing. Which is more amazing? The fact that 2 is able to multiply into literally half of every conceivable number there is, or the fact that you can create a number that is literally impossible by dividing something into 0.
I think that's pretty cool.
That is incredibly cool. But there, just due to the fact that there are an infinite amount of numbers, there are as many numbers that multiply from 2 as there are numbers.
Yeah, because half of infinity is
still infinity. So that's, you have either infinite potential or literally no conceivable potential.
I see what you're saying.
Which one is more impressive?
I think I'm going to have to concede to 2, because partially just because I like the way that I write it. But
Yes, that is true. And I think like we could go with 0, but if we went with 0, that is the end of it. Like, there's nothing more than 0. 0 negates everything else when you multiply it. When you divide it, it is a more destructive nature, and it holsters less potential. But with 2...
yeah. Would you rather have $0 or $2? I'd go with 2.
Yeah. Exactly. So, on behalf of economics, we will say 2 is the winner for this one. So, for the next one, we have a similar situation with 4 and 8, where we have a number and then a number that is divisible by that first, which is between 3 and 6. Now,
I'm going to be honest, I kind of don't like 6.
no, I don't either, because it's lazy in its design, because it looks like a 9, and I know that 6 comes first, but like, come on.
I remember being
9's
6
cool.
years old. I was just waiting until I would turn 7 because I thought the number was cooler.
Yeah, 7's a cooler number, 5's a cooler number, 6 is weird. It has a bad name that can cause you trouble if you don't pronounce it right. It has a lazy design. It is a pain to try to multiply. I can't.
And
it's connected to Satan sometimes.
True. And I actually should like the number. My birthday is June 6th, 6/6.
Whoa, my birthday's June 16th.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually turned 6 on 666.
That's cool. And I'm kind of jealous, but...
You're jealous of that satanic connection?
Well, it's not exactly satanic, but that's beside the point. But yeah, like, I just feel like the only redeeming quality that I can think of with 6 is that every time I think of 6, I think of the color purple. And that's it. Because there's 6 letters in purple.
I usually see like...
And like when I was in like kindergarten, I would sing a song to help me remember the color purple and how to spell it. It was like Purple, purple, and then
That's
like
awful.
every time I think of purple, I think of the little like crayon printout that I had that like was purple and it said purple, and I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 letters in the color purple, and that's it. That's the only good thing that I can think about.
See, when I imagine it, I always think gray because it's just like a dull number.
Well, gray and purple, that's not even like the best color combo. It's a good color combo, but it's not even
Gray and purple.
great.
I think gray and purple is a pretty awful combo.
Really? I've seen it done well. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious which one wins. There's no doubt about it. It's 3.
The magic number?
The magic number, yes it is. It's a magic number. Oh, also, what was the Schoolhouse Rock song for 6? I feel like it was like bad.
I don't know. You want to pull it up real quick?
I will, but before I do that, let me introduce the final bracket in round 2, which is 9 versus 1.
Okay.
Thoughts?
1 is the loneliest number.
It is.
And 9's got some interesting characteristics.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the Schoolhouse Rock for 6, and I can't even...
I feel like if they had to choose a digit to skip and not make a song for, it would have been 6.
It looks so uninspired. There's not even, like, much background to it.
There's
like,
nothing to do with 6. It's just a useless number.
It's so uninteresting. Like, all the other ones are super, like, colorful and whatnot and have creation. This one, they're just holding balloons, and then there's a guy with, like, a bunch of jewelry, and then the girl's, like, holding an egg. Is that an egg? She's holding an egg. Why is she holding an egg? 6 is an awful number. I think 6 is the worst out of all the digits.
I would agree with that.
All right, but now that we've decided that, which is the best, 1 versus 9? 1, I feel like 1 should be the digit that represents like numbers, but I feel like 2 does a better job. Because like 1 is the base for that, but like 2 is the final product.
Because like if you're trying to teach a kid counting, you can't really do it with 1 because you're like, I have one thing. And you're like, you have a thing. If you have 2 things, you'd be like, I have 2 things. If I take 1 away, I don't. You can't take. If you take 1 away, I have no things.
I could not be following you less.
Okay.
But but like 1 versus 9, I feel like 9 wins because it has one of my favorite Schoolhouse Rocks.
Which is?
Number 9. It's the one where the really fat cat is smoking like a huge cigar
that's
and
right.
is just like destroying the mouse. I love that one, and I don't know why. It's just really funny to me. Just the cat's just sort of like blank expression is just like, it's a shame for you. Should have picked a better home. Now I'm going to turn you into a cue ball and then smoke my cigar smoke in your face.
I feel like 9
I'm
has
a cat.
more personality.
I'm a drunk Garfield. Deal with it. Yeah, 9 has definitely a much better personality. I feel like this one's like also a very cut and dry case. Would you say?
Yeah, I don't know anyone whose favorite number is 1.
No. Because like if you're going to go for one of the really low numbers, you go with 0 or you go with 2.
Yeah,
You
1 is
don't-
just boring.
1 is like when I think of 1, it's just tedious to me because any function of 1 is going to be tedious. You have what is that? What the things that computer uses? The ones and zeros.
Free. I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Binary.
Binary, that's what it is. Okay, so you have binary, which seems like a pain to try to program, and then is like just a lot of 1s and a lot of 0s, and that seems like too much.
Have you ever seen the Futurama skit where Bender's like dreaming and he sees all these 0s and 1s and then he wakes up after a nightmare and says, Fry, I think I saw a 2.
I hadn't, but that's awesome. But yeah, so you have binary, which is tedious. You have additions with 1s, which is just counting,
Yeah.
and that's tedious. There's other ways you can do it. And then you have like the number itself, it's once again just like 0, it's too simplistic where it's just a line.
Yeah. Its design's pretty uninspired.
Yep. But
And
9,
sometimes you draw like a little line under it and then the dash thing, but
yeah. But like 9 has character to it. Mathematically, it's really, really cool, and you can do some very cool stuff with it.
it's the highest digit.
Add like multiply any digit by 9, and then add the 2 digits that creates, and then it's going to add up to 9.
Yeah, and you can do that thing with your fingers to like do the multiples.
Exactly. Like 9 is really, really cool, but it's also strong. You know, it has a presence. When you're dealing with 9, you're
like
just
Hitler yelled it a lot.
on second thought, I think we should go with 1. Oh man, why did you have to bring Hitler into this? Now I feel bad for voting for 9. But no. All right.
That's that's the French word.
German aside, I think we should go with 9 because it's strong.
I think so too.
It has a sleek design, and it's your best friend. Unless it's a cat. And then don't play pool with it. All right.
Sure.
So that completes round 2.
Okay.
We are going to be going into our semifinals and final round, but I think we should probably take a quick break.
Yeah, it'll be a short music break because we want to finish this, but stay tuned. Hello, and we are back with semifinals. Mm-hmm. So where are we starting?
Oh man, let me tell you, folks. This semifinal round is going to be a killer on both sides because we have some strong contenders that go right up against each other. These are practically rivals. And the first round that we're going to be dealing with is 3 versus 2.
Oof.
Yeah, this one's a toughie because they're both prime numbers.
I feel like 3 and 7 it was a harder choice, but
I would agree with that, but still, it's very, very strong because you have 2, which is the pinnacle of like I feel like is a fantastic example of a digit. It's all around just sort of like your main man. It's the Mario of digits, it's the Mickey Mouse of numbers. Meanwhile, you also have 3, which even though it's not as strong as a representation of numbers, it's still a very strong contender. It's still a prime number, it's still very low, and it's one of the most common ones, seeing how third places are often recognized just as much as second and first.
The second is better.
Second is better, but still, you would much rather have $3 than 2. It works both ways. 3 definitely has a better Schoolhouse Rock song. In fact, it was the first Schoolhouse Rock song.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know they started with that. What was 2's?
2 was the Noah's Ark, Elementary, my dear.
Oh, that's right.
Which isn't bad, but it's certainly not as recognizable as 3 is a magic number.
No, that's pretty iconic.
Yeah. You have 3, which is sort of like a very... It's a very simple number. That's the first... it causes the first geometric... shape. You can't make a geometric shape with just 2 points. You have to have 3. So I think it's like both are very, very strong in their own weights. It's just a matter
to be fair, going back to my favorite number, you
fair.
Can't have a shape in 3-dimensional space without 4 points.
That is very true, and we will get to that. But we'll have to wait until the next round.
Okay.
However, what you just said reminds me of a very important factor is because 2 doesn't just transcend numbers or even digits. It transcends the the English language. As
2.
Yes, but there are 3 forms of 2. So we're right back where we started.
You're right. It
2 wouldn't have as much power if it wasn't for 3. So is 3 really the source of 2's power, at least phonetically?
There are 3 letters in 2.
There are 3 letters in 2. In 2 out of the 3... Oh my gosh, this is getting really deep. Okay, so let's break it down. So there are 3 forms of 2. There are only 1 forms of 3. But there's 3 forms of 2. One of the 3 2's has 2 letters in it. 2 out of the 3 2's have 3 letters in it. So who really has the power in that English breakdown?
That's a tough one.
Now, going back to the English, though.
Got about 8 minutes. We need to go a little faster.
All right. So I would say that 3 is more versatile, and it's more of an dynamic choice than 2, because 2 is very simple. It's an even number. It doesn't have a lot going on. However, 3 I still think is a very formidable option here because it is dynamic, it is popular, and for good reason. It is the source of the English power that 2 has. All around, I think even though 2 is very strong where it sits, I feel like 3 has more diverse possibilities to it.
That's fair. All right, let's just go with 3.
All right, 3, once again, is working the ballots and has once again made it to another round.
Ooh, speaking of ballot, there's only 2 parties that actually have a chance, though.
Well, okay.
We always end up with that 2-party system. Third party's just...
But the third party is what shows us progress throughout American history.
True.
You had the Federalists versus the Democrats.
We got to finish.
All right, yeah. That's beside the point. 3 wins. So the next semifinal round is 9 versus 4.
Okay, I just remembered another reason why I think 4 is so great after you brought up that language thing. Mm-hmm. Just name a number, any number.
7.
Okay, now watch this. 7. S-E-V-E-N. 5 letters. 5. F-I-V-E. 4.
Yes.
4. F-O-U-R. No matter what number you choose, if you do that, you will always end up at 4 because it's the only number with the same amount of letters that it is.
That is true. That is a very strong point. And, 9, N-I-N-E, 4 letters. So, we definitely have a stronger contendant for 4 already. And I think this is very, very, suitable that we're pairing 4 and 9 together because their designs can be, paired so often together.
Yeah, some people, for some reason, choose to write 4 as an ugly 9.
Yep. Just a low polygonal version of 9. But honestly, I feel like 4 has the more power in this situation because even though 9 is a very good number, I feel like it's a mid tier. It's a strong number, but it's not iconic enough. 4 is a strong number. When you think of 4, for some reason, I think of cube, just like a square, and I think of structural integrity. I think of the fact that there are 4 sides to a room. There are 4 sides to a square. It's just so powerful.
And that was the thing I was talking about earlier. You need 4 points for a 3-dimensional shape. Even though it's 3-dimensional, you need 4 points for it to exist in a 3D world.
Right. In order to spell 9, you have to have 4. I just think overall, 9 may be a more powerful number numerically. But as far as the digits themselves, I feel like 4 is definitely the winner in this situation.
All right.
They're both great. I'm not knocking 9, but
4 is my favorite digit.
4,
so
I would have to say,
I'm happy it's
definitely
here in the
wins.
final round.
So yeah, we have made it to the
Definitely
finals.
have a bias though.
We have made it to the finals of this bracket, and I cannot believe we have been talking about this for 40 minutes.
Yeah, we've only got 4 minutes for this last round, so let's get into it.
But I honestly think we've gone through the objective practice. I would say this has been fairly objective going into Schoolhouse Rock and then opinions and letters. But we are left with the numbers.
That's clearly the most objective
Mm-hmm. And we are left with the numbers 3 and the number 4.
Which happen to be next to each other.
Yes, we have. I didn't realize how strong these two numbers were.
Let me say this. Would you rather have 3 fingers or 4 fingers?
Okay. I would actually, and this is not a joke, I would actually want 3. And here's why. If you only have 4 fingers, people assume that there was an accident immediately. They're just like, oh, one of your fingers get cut off. If you only have 3 fingers, there's more of a story behind that and more of a lore behind that. And if you only have 3 fingers, you can go up to children more convincingly and being like, and if they ask you why you only have 3 fingers, you can just say, either Yoda's your dad, or you can say, I didn't eat my broccoli. And then just save their parents so much trouble. Because they're going to start eating that broccoli, believe you. But as far as the finger argument, I would actually say 3. Because honestly, the difference between the dexterity that you will have with only 4 fingers versus only 3 fingers, not that great. Not that big of a difference. So if you're going to have missing fingers, why not just go with 3?
All right. Let's talk about sports. Sports are usually divided into quarters.
But how many people are on the podium at the end?
3. Also,
in the areas where it counts, I would say 3 wins over in that regard.
Yeah. Also, hockey's a better sport, and it's got the 3.
Exactly. And also, who cares who got in 4th place? If you're on 4th place, you're basically labeled garbage. I don't care if you're on the Olympic.
If you're not first through third, you're last.
Yeah, if you're at the Olympic Games and you're one of the best athletes in the world and you get 4th in the Olympics, go home, buddy. See you later. But if you get 3rd, that's still something. That's powerful. Design-wise, 3 is more consistent. But I feel
I
like
don't know.
4,
I feel like 3 gets a little repetitive. You have this hoop, and then you just do it again.
That is true.
4 is always changing it up. You go this way, then that way, then this way, and then back down. And you're like,
Yep.
whoa,
that's crazy. But and also 3 looks like a unfinished 8. If we're gonna be honest.
Yeah. Even though 3 comes first, I think 8's design is more iconic.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I would certainly agree with that. Oh man, I honestly don't know if I can choose between the two. Because they're both super strong, And I honestly think if I had to choose one, it would be an unbelievably difficult one, and I'm still processing it. I think I may go with 3, but that may only be because that would be in opposition to your 4. But
That's fair.
I think these two deserve their entire own episodes together. I honestly think that we could have an entire episode on 3 versus 4. But for the sake of the fact that it's 5:49 now,
Got 30 seconds.
I would say that since they are so close, the only way that to break it down is by going in personal preference. And since I'm neutral on this, and the fact that you believe that 4 is the best, I would say that 4 at the numerical competition of 2018 top 10 tens, I would say that 4 is this year's winner. Congratulations, 4. You've won no dollars because we need the numbers to actually make the dollars.
I rigged the polls.
They're all competing, so you don't get any dollars. But 4, you get the representation as the epitome, the best digit in the numerical system. Congratulations.
All right, and we are 20 seconds over time, so we're going to stop.
Whoops. Thanks for having me on, Jaden. It was a blast. It was a pleasure. Congratulations, 4.
Tune in next week.